कर दो। सर अब मैं सबको ऐड कर रहा हूँ सर।
हाँ, कर लो कर लो। पुरी साहब नमस्ते।
नमस्कार नमस्कार, क्या हाल है सर? आपकी मेहनत रंग ला रही है। रोज
कटारा
न्यूज़पेपर
जी
में आ रहे हैं।
नमस्ते। अभी मंत्री जी को चिट्ठी लिख रहे हैं हम लोग,
हाँ,
उसका वे फॉरवर्ड।
नहीं नहीं, हो रहा है, उसका इफेक्ट तो हो रहा है। आई थिंक एवरीबडी इज रियलाइजिंग दैट।
हम्म।
ठीक है, हम भी अपना कुछ इम्प्रूव करते हैं और क्या।
क्या पुरी साहब, क्या है, कोई चीज के ऊपर लगे रहो, समथिंग विल हैपन।
करेक्ट।
गड़बड़।
देखो तो ये आया ना, कि वॉल्यूम कहाँ से बढ़ेगा
And you don't, you understand anyone else, then what reply? No, sir, I'm getting from you. Why you should not need to keep CC? Why you should not be CC? We ought to be very, very, cautious and careful while deciding the EPC. Understand the gravity of the EPC. And secondly, that CC, don't send CC to everyone.
आके करना इधर।
रेड्डी साहब स्टार्ट करें।
स्टार्ट सर।
आई थिंक स्टार्ट करते हैं, तरुण रावत जी।
तरुण जी।
Yes, sir. Good evening to all. CI is nowadays well recognized, sir. And as far as the we have discussed in last month, we had a meeting with the minister, and he is very much furious about the consultant's performance. So today we are holding a webinar on this responsibilities of consultants in services of EPC and HAM projects. NHI and ministry and highway industry particularly keep on changing the rules every nowadays. There are so many circulars which is regularly coming into force, and people at working at site are either unaware of those, and there are lack of their recognition of those circulars. So with the change scenario, we had taken an initiative that everybody should know what are our responsibilities as of now, because a lot of things have been changing, keep on changing on every day. Let me introduce our two speakers today. First is Mr. DC Katara, who is retired secretary from Government of Rajasthan. He is with us since last more than 10, 11 years. And he was one of the members in EPC committee being formed by Government of India, a 3-member committee. And he is one of the member. He is from Government of Rajasthan, nominated as member for these EPC contracts. He is with us. And the another fellow is Mr. VVS Ramakrishna. He is also with us since 10 years, and he is having good command in contract management and this. So I have been assigned with 2 minutes only. So I think that is all over from me now. So let us start with, I am asking Puri Saab to take a lead from here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I will request President of CAI to give his opening remarks first.
थैंक यू पुरी साहब, तरुण रावत, for the introduction. I think all of you are aware about the CIA. We are having headquarters at Delhi and four regional centers. This webinar is being organized by the Northern region, that is headed by Mr. Tarun Rawat. And the subject for this webinar is very, very important because this is the responsibility of the IAE on the highway projects. Okay. And huge amount of money is spent on the highways uh, last few years. And we have got a lot of responsibility to discharge. Uh, See, many of us, we had a seminar, as Tarun Rawat told, and what came out, even NHI also, we have been having meetings. See, many people who are the site don't know the subject, what they are supposed to do. Then the TL and senior, are you able to hear me? Okay. They are supposed to know about the content management, the management of the content. And I'll appeal to all of you to inculcate this habit of this ethical culture. So ethical means whatever responsibility is given to us, we should discharge honestly. And if we and the it is of the organization means consultancy firm to provide training. If anybody you are posting to site, you should have adequate training beforehand so that he is able to discharge his duties. With this, I'll hand over to Puri Saab. Puri Saab, I think everybody knows, he is ex-DGRD. He has been member NHI and he is handling lot of content management, lot of contacts, IE, and even abroad, lot of countries he is working. So you are in your hands. I think I'll hand over to Mr. Puri.
Thank you, sir. And good afternoon, participants. I think what Mr. Sharma has said and what we are witnessing for the last couple of months, or I would say in the recent past, that the government, the minister, the client has somehow, there is a trust deficit with the consultants. It is with the preparation of DPR also, but today we are going to discuss about the supervision of the contracts. So government is also moving forward, wherein CAI has, given some recommendations for the employer to consider and change. So government is moving forward. I think it is our responsibility also as consultants to, make some kind of changes in our working, our behavior, and our output and delivery. So, I will only touch some key points. Otherwise, you will have detailed presentations from two of our experts, as Mr. said. One is that as soon as the work starts, a design review has to be done. And it is seen that sometimes in some of the projects, that design review has not been done seriously. There may be, after 6 months or 1 year, when actually the contractor starts that work, and then it is found that there is a deficiency in the DPR. Whereas in the design review stage, initially in 1 month or 2 months, if it can be detected, it saves a lot of time and a lot of criticism. So it can be handled at that stage itself. So a design review is very, very important. The initial start of the work, and we should do it seriously. All our teams, all of us. Second is the work program. Even this is my experience. I have seen that at sites the contractor tries to either avoid submission of the work program, or it will be just line diagram work program without any. It's not resource based. It is not by using any software. Critical activities are not defined. The major activities, there are no separate work program, or there are no micro level work program. So that is another very, very important thing which we as consultants and our key personnel team leader at site, we must do that at that stage and keep on reviewing it. It is not that just work program has been approved once. You see, it is very important to have a approved work program and approved work methodology. The reason being, in recent times, we all know there had been a lot of failures at site during construction, particularly the launching of the girders. And at that time, all these expert committees who had come to the site, they wanted to see the work program, they wanted to see the methodology, whether that work program has been followed or not, whether that methodology has been followed or not, who is at fault. So where, as far as, of course, we can try our best to avoid all kind of such accidents and failures, but still there may be unfortunate incidents may happen. But as consultant, if our records are there, so then, at least this is unforeseen circumstances, and these are unfortunate, but nobody stands to be blamed if system is followed, records are there. So let us, take it seriously that these records of approved work program, approved methodology of such important activities must be maintained at site in consultants' offices. Now, third, one new thing which has been mentioned by our president also and chairman also, Mr. Tarun. These are that, of course, we are supposed to know the latest codes, specifications, circulars, which is very, very important. And of course, it becomes a contractual issue also that legally speaking and contractually speaking, circular does not become a part of the contract. However, we all have experience that, circulars do come out from ministry or NHAI or NHADCL or other employers, and they have their own limitations as government representatives to follow those circulars. And so point is simple, that these circulars should be in our knowledge also, and how to deal, of course, that we cannot discuss at this stage. These are all contractual matters and issues, but issue is that we should be all we should have knowledge of all these things, so that the specifications, the new codes and amendments, you see, codes, amendments do keep on coming in IRC monthly, this thing. So we should have. Another thing which we have noted in recent times is that whenever some problems are happening at site and employer wants to take some kind of action, let's say on the contractor due to some faults, he is asking to verify the RFIs, whether these RFIs have been actually signed by your personnel. And we found that RFIs, only signatures have been done. There is no name, no designation. Now, there can be a number of inspectors, number of assistant engineers or supervisors who may be signing these RFIs. So, I would like to suggest that we should try our best that whenever a team leader signature, it is on record that who was the team leader. But all other these personnel, they cannot be maintained. Nobody knows whose signature is there. People keep on changing, shifting. So it is important that all in all RFIs, when somebody signs, and his name should be there for record purposes, it becomes very important. Then another thing is the respecting the timelines. We have seen one, of course, that monthly progress reports. There has been a lot of criticism from the employer about the quality of the monthly reports. Because monthly reports, 80% of the monthly reports is just photocopy of the earlier and some few pages, and that too sometimes not all the critical activities or very, very important things which may have happened during the month. Sometimes it is not recorded, or sometimes proper photographs are not recorded. So I think we need to improve the quality of the monthly reports, because it is a permanent record. It does help in many ways to the employer, to the consultant. And in case of disputes, when the matter goes to the arbitration, even then all these records becomes very, very important. And at that time, if the consultant is not able to provide these records to the employer, then the employer doesn't have a good, it doesn't reflect good on part of the consultant, because then the employer is on the receiving end at the arbitration tribunal. And and second is the timelines, that whatever submissions we have to make to the employer. In fact, I would say the timeline starts from whatever when we receive from the contractor, because whether it is EPC contract or a HAM contract. By and large, in each project, some kind of change of scope request we receive from the contractor or the concessionaire. It could be new technology, it could be some kind of a change of a span, change of the superstructure, even the length changes, reduces, increases. Sometimes even the elevated structure are being changed to RE wall structures. Pavement, lot of pavement crust that is being requested for change. This flexible pavement to rigid pavement to bonded rigid pavement. So my point is, all such kind of changes are requested by the contractor. Now it is very important that at a later stage, because there is a process in that. As consultant, we will do it. We will go to the client. In client, it goes from PD to RO to their head office, and it all takes time. Now, in case we do not follow the timelines, then the contractor concessionaire comes back with the extension of time and claims. And then that also is a very serious issue for a consulting firm, that we should not be seen that, it is because of our incompetency or delays that, contractor is asking, and they will have to give, because if they don't give, then he goes into the arbitration, he may get it there. Still, so that becomes one of our responsibility, that we have to be sincerely dealing with the contractual timelines. That we cannot avoid. The contract provides that contractor or the concessionaire can request for these changes. We as engineers have to, process, determine, and then make our recommendations as per the site conditions and this thing. So with this, I think all these issues will be dealt in detail by our speakers for the day. They are all very, very senior professionals in our field and profession. So I would like to invite Mr. D.C. Katara for giving his presentation. Mr. Katara is President and Head of Technical Division of Mr. Theme Engineering Services. You can see with his gray hair how much experience he has. So we all would benefit with his presentation. So over to you, Mr. Katara.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Puri and Mr. Sharma, and to all persons attending this meeting. I think we are dealing with the EPC contract since last 11, 12 years. And I think we are lucky that the first EPC contract in NHI was handled by our company. The project was in Rajasthan, Kota to Jhalawar, MP border, Kota Jhalawar, MP border. In fact, the EPC agreement empowers the authority engineer or dependent engineers for quality executions and the quantity-wise execution of a project. Several responsibilities and duties have been assigned in the contract agreement to the authority engineer. And with this authority and with these duties, I think the authority feels that the authority engineer or consultants should act on behalf of the authority for every and each decisions and the recommendations for a project. The issues which the authority engineer has, with the power which they are mostly review of drawings, RFIs, IPC payments, etc., by which they can control the project through the various clauses of the contract agreement. So I will deal and I will discuss only the few issues which have been faced by us since last 10, 11 years. And most of the time, they remain in the dispute between the contractor, consultant, and the authority. The first request to the authority engineers and our consultants is that we should study the contract agreement, at least those clauses and the articles in which we have to take some decisions or we have to submit our recommendations. Secondly, the correspondence between the contractor and with the authority should also have reference of the clauses of the agreement. The letter should not be vague. It should contain the reference of the clauses and the subject dealt by the clause of the contract. Before starting of the project, the agreement chapter, the first or second chapter is obligations of the contractor and the obligations of the authority. Just after mobilizing at the site, we should go through these obligations in detail and we should request the authority for fulfilling the obligations on part of the authority, and we should request the contractor for fulfilling the obligations as per his contract, the project details. I think three stakeholders in the contract agreement. One is authority engineer, and the contractor. Most of the issues should be resolved at the level of authority engineer until unless it goes beyond the powers of the authority engineer, for which the authority engineer should recommend the cases to the authority for necessary decisions. Now, after taking up these pre-construction activities, the next comes the construction and the design of the project. As per contract agreement, contractor engages design director, pro consultant, safety consultant, and all these drawings, etc., are submitted by the contractor through these experts. And these drawings and designs are reviewed by the authority engineer within the specified time, as and when, and whether it is a structure design or a highway design, and ultimately convey the decisions or the review or any objections they have in the drawings and the designs. Most of the problem with the designs is regarding the detailed information, hydraulic data, which we generally face. The most important issue is FRL. The determination of the FRL, as per the codal provision, is as per the HFL or in case the non-flood area, as per the manual. And thirdly, the FRL mentioned in the volume 3 of the contract agreement. And we should seriously think over the decision regarding the FRL. Because in many projects, the FRL issue creates the problem during the rainy season in some of the areas. And after that, when it was found that the determination of FRL was not as per the hydraulic data of the adjoining area and the structure. Now, regarding that structures and the even FRL, we should have a hydraulic data study of upstream and downstream hydraulic structures such as dams, bridges, which are situated on the upstream and the downstream. The detailed hydraulic data should be collected from those agencies for designing the city works, bridges, and even the FRL of the specific project. Then most of the cases, it is mentioned that FRL should not be less than the FRL shown in the volume 3 of the contract agreement. And contractor insists for this and gives the various suggestions and the discussions regarding the keeping the FRL as low as possible. Then we should be very clear, because in most of the areas where we have heavy rainfall, we are facing this difficulty, at least in Gujarat, MP, and UP. We should take a decision regarding the FRLs. Then comes the completion after doing the design drawings, and most important is maintenance of the project during construction, which is generally not seriously taken by the contractor, and the commuters and the road users feel very difficulty for non-maintenance of the existing project highway during construction period, and also taking the safety issues during the construction period. Our main specific duty is to request contractor, take his suggestions, and ask him that the road is maintained properly during construction and all safety issues are observed by the team. After completion of the project, then comes the pre-COD and completion of the project. I think in the new agreements, the pre-COD word has been deleted, but in the old agreements, pre-COD is very important issue through which the completion date, bonus, maintenance payment, and all these issues are starts from the pre-COD. It has already been mentioned in the contract agreement that before issuing the pre-COD, some specific obligations should be completed. In general, with pre-COD, we prepare punch list for petty minor works and some other punch list that is called punch list B or other items, which contains the items which could not be completed due to the non-obligation of authority or some force majeure, etc. But in case of main punch list, which is to be completed within 30 days, it has been observed invariably in almost all cases, the punch list A, that is for minor works, is continuing for many months or even for years. And no report is being conveyed by the field staff, by the authority engineers to the authority, and the contractor also does not convey the compliance of the punch list. In fact, the financial implications come through these issues. Therefore, we should be very particular about recommending the pre-COD, follow-up for the punch list, and follow-up for the completion of the project. Then the issue has already been taken up by Mr. Puri regarding the change of scope items. In fact, the procedure for change of scope for approval and recommendations looks to be very lengthy. I mean, before commencement of the proposals, the contractor submits the proposal for COS. Reason may be either it is as per the site conditions or some technical reasons. After getting the proposals, the authority engineer recommends, give his opinion, and submit to the competent authority. During this period, in most of the cases, as per the contract agreement, the COS work should not be started until unless the in-principle approval is obtained from the competent authority. But it is very difficult to wait for contractor to take up work after in-principle approval of the COS and start the work afterwards, because many items of the project related with the COS. Therefore, I think the authority should take, and the consultant forum should also take up the matter with the authority, that the procedure for approval of the COS, in-principle approval and final approval, it should be squeezed. It means in-principle approval should be conveyed as soon as possible. In most of the cases, as we have receiving the information from our field staff, COS works are taken up, and after taking up, the COS approval is not even conveyed in principle approval by the competent authority. Therefore, the procedure for COS should be initiated by the contractor after the pursuance by the authority engineer in time, so that the clear picture is finalized by the competent authority whether COS to be taken up or whether a separate agreement or separate agency will take up this COS work. Specifically, in many cases, the negative COS in the highway projects, it's very difficult to get negative proposals from the contractor until unless the authority engineer or the field staff press this. Therefore, the authority engineer and the field officer should also initiate the proposals for negative COS as soon as we receive the proposal for the positive COS, or in case there is no positive COS, then the timely pursuance by the authority engineer, we should request the contractor to submit the negative COS for the proposals. These are the main issues which I wanted to talk in the detail, article wise, clause wise. Mr. Ramakrishnan will go for the presentation. Now, only few minutes for the maintenance period. It has generally been experienced that after completion of the project, the main agencies, the EPC contractor, takes away the different agencies to the another project, and he hires another agency for maintenance of this project, which are having very less staff, less supervision equipments, machineries, and it becomes very difficult for authority in here to take work from such maintenance persons. Moreover, in the maintenance chapter of this EPC agreement, the only issue until when the contractor fails to attend the maintenance items, there is no any specific reason, no specific clause, any help from the agreement that what should be done, except to submit the estimate, and the authority should engage another authority, another agency to rectify those defects through the other agency and with 20% add for the next. But it takes long time. Now, I'm not seeing any project in which some other agency has been engaged by the authority for taking up the maintenance part, which has not been taken up by the original contractor. These are the main issues which we've had in the last 10 years in most of the projects, which I wanted to convey to my colleagues. And I now request Mr. Ramakrishnan to go for the PowerPoint presentation as per the contract agreement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Katara. You have dealt in detail very important issues, and I'm sure the participants will take care of these things. Now, I would like to invite Mr. VVS Ramakrishna. He is a Senior General Manager working with Team Engineering. So, please, Mr. Ramakrishna, floor is yours.
Sir, good afternoon, all. Sir, I would like to thank CEA for taking a very positive steps for improvement of quality of construction as well as quality of consultancy services. Now, I'm sharing one PowerPoint presentation with important limited issues what we are presently facing at site. So how to share? I'm not going to detail of this team composition, all those things. The major issues what we are generally facing, that only I'm taking up here. The critical sections of the project prioritization is main is work program. Generally, the contractors are submitting some work program. We are reviewing and approving. After that, we are not looking into that. And but the work program should be resources based and micro level programming. For that, recently SOP is also issued for major structures under 2 5-kilometer stretches. We have
Ramakrishnan, can you make the presentation in presentation mode? Convert it to presentation mode, please. Yeah. From the bottom also you can.
This one, sir, I think.
Next. Yeah. Thank you.
Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, okay.
the resource sequence and timing of inspections and tests, particulars for pre-construction reviews, approval, consents, micro level programming. These are the more important now, and for monitoring the milestone achievements as well as rate of the progress. And in case of delay affecting the progress schedule, we have to obtain a revised program. For that, advanced notice we have to be issued. For that, actually, what is the planned progress? What is the achieved progress? Why the shortfall? What are the reasons for that? These three items are very much important while we are preparing the monthly progress report. And if the non-achievement of milestone as per the provisions of contract is not attributable to the contractor, then what recommendation of our damages as per the provisions of contract? Recently, the review was carried out. The main issues what we are observing is the progress report, MPR. MPR is not having what is the planned progress, what is the achieved progress, why the difference, only progress achieved this month X. That will not suffice the requirement. What is the planned progress as per the program? What is achieved? Why the shortfall? What are the reasons? Where is the work front availability? If there is a constraints, what are those constraints? Recently, an SOP also issued while signing the memorandum. A hindrance register also to be maintained. Hindrance register is to be maintained at site. Whatever the issue arises regarding force majeure event whatsoever, that is to be recorded, and this GPS videography is also to be taken so that the exact issue will be reflected properly. Next, RFIs. The AE may be 50 to 60%, they are called quality checking, and IE in HAM projects 10% or 20% whatsoever. The remaining RFIs, nobody is caring about it. That's what we observed. Even if NHA developed a good data lake portal, it is our responsibility to see the 100% RFIs are properly closed. Quality tests have been carried out as per the frequency given in the specifications. Because we are recommending the payment for the cumulative work executed by the concessionaire or contractor. If we are done our percentage remaining, we don't know, it is not like that. There is a clear-cut RFI module in data lake portal clearly mandated that the remaining RFIs necessarily to be uploaded with the inspection report, and AEIE can check if report is correct or not. That is our main duty obligation. Next major is a TL and field team do not verify the RFIs closed by the contractor concessionaire. That what we observed in few projects. So 100% RFIs are to be uploaded if it is NHA project data lake or ministry whatsoever. If there is no data lake provision for certain projects, hard copy is to be verified, and apart from the RFIs attended by the consultancy representatives. If any RFI, if suppose disapproved in case of any unsatisfactory reports, if the same is not rectified within the site instructions, a non-compliance and remedial measures, a detailed letter is to be issued with the proper specification clause, etc. Still, if it is not rectified, then NCR is to be issued. In the NCR, we have to specify the time frame. All otherwise, what is happening? Generally, we seen in one or two cases where the NCRs are pending more than a year. What will happen if the defect is in minor stage? If it is not properly attended within the time frame, then that will be deteriorated more, and the damage to the project payment whatsoever, that will be increasing day by day. So there should be a timeline we have to specify in the NCR based on good industry practice. Still, if it is not rectified, then the proportionate payment should be retained in their monthly payment, whatever, whether it is a stage payment or it is a monthly milestone payment whatsoever, so that only that will be done in time. And every month there will be one inspection to be carried out, and that inspection report should be a part and parcel of our monthly progress report. And another one, the contract in EPC, generally there is a specific clause. The contractor has to submit the drawings, scope quantities based on Schedule B and Schedule C, and Schedule H details everything for review of authority engineer. That one that is to be finalized within first 2 to 3 months. Maximum is 6 months. Before 6 months from the appointed date, we should know what is the scope as per the contract, and if any deviations, that is to be identified. Another one question, who is responsible for identifying change of scope? There is a debate, the contractor will submit the change of scope. It is not like that. It is the duty of the consultant, primarily what I feel. We know Schedule B, we have the Schedule C. We will inspect the site. We will see if there is a specific requirement at site which is not contemplated in the contract, then that will be a change of scope. So neither we have to initiate nor contractor has to initiate. For that, a joint inspection is to be carried out after the signing of the agreement, after declaring the appointed date. And we have to verify whether the provisions given in schedules properly reflecting the site condition or not. And in Schedule G, in HAM projects, some front loading is being opted by the concessionaires in few cases. What will happen if there is a front loading, the progress will be affected after 2/3 of the project, because the inflow will be less and outflow will be more. So we have to be balanced with what is actually executed, and to that proportionately the payment scenario will be there. Recently, a few observations, what we recently through our quality inspections, we observed is RFIs are not properly checked for the closed by the contractor concessionaires. Drone videography is not reviewed. And contractors MPR, no comments has been communicated by the team leaders, consultants. If the contents given in the MPR of the contractor concessionaire, we have to thoroughly examine it, and the veracity of those things has to be commented. All for the sub-provisionals and key professionals, both to exercise the test performed as per the relevant standards. Construction methodology, planning profile, that everybody knows it. But the issue is, without involvement of sub-professionals and key positions in execution of work, testing, closing NCRs, and finalizing the stage payments without the involvement of other professionals, such things will give what we can say a wrong indication. So within 15 days of the receipt of SPS, AE representative determine and shall deliver to the authority and contractor IPC certifying the due amount. For advance payment, there is a guidelines given within 3 days, 75% provisionally to be recommended. Physical inspection will be carried out. Now also another improvement also came. A committee will be constituted at the level of PAU for a joint inspection after receiving the bills because of the cash flow issues in the last quarter. So the mechanism, the systematic approach will give a positive result. With strip chart highway part and pictorial chart of structures should accompany along with the monthly stage payments. In MPR also, MPR generally the strip chart and all those things are cutting, it is only a copy and paste methodology. But in the in the bills, particularly in SPS or IPC or MPC, the strip chart and pictorial chart should depict the what is actually done in that particular period and what is the overall progress. Both should be visible in those reports. And another one, a certificate also we have to certify in such a that the NCRs are issued shall not be recorded for payment. What is happening? If we made the payment and rectification, generally the planning of the construction agencies will be to get the cash flow as well as their progress. If they already received the money and there is any defects, nobody will make a concentration to go and do that. For that, we have to take a special care, give a specific reminders for any NCR spending more than the specified period in the NCR. The follow-up is mandatory. Change of scope, there is now a clear-cut SOP is also issued. How change of scope is to be analyzed. Regarding EOT also, EOT without what are the events, what are the reasons, whether it is attributable to contractor or not, if any force majeure events, non-availability of clear work front, additional works, if any, delay in statutory clearances, all those things is to be properly mentioned in our recommendations. In utility shifting, one example I'm bringing here, regarding utility shifting, the project is delayed. The estimate to be procured from utility owning agency is the obligation of contractor, and the contractor is obtaining the estimate after 1.5 years of appointed date. So we have to see whether we know very well what are the utilities obstructing the right of way for our development of the project highway. So within 6 months, all those prerequisites, obtaining the estimates from the utility owning agencies, and all those things have to be completed well in advance so that our construction program shall not be affected due to that particular issues. And another one, delay analysis. Delay analysis, there is a, we have to prepare a delay analysis. What is the stretches free from all encumbrances? What is the time given in the baseline program, whether it is completed within the time or not? Those things are to be reflected in the delay analysis so that we will be understanding why the project is delaying. While submitting the EOT application, these memorandum, MPRs with planned progress versus actual progress, slow progress notices, if any, other documents nowadays in this easy project, remote old project, old agreements, it is there. But in HAM projects, provisional certificate is there. That too, 100% completion of the site handed over as on 20th from the appointed date. In this certificate, from what we are getting a punch list, simply certain
Krishna, what happened?
Net list. Yeah, net connected. Sundaram connected.
Share the presentation again.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And while recommending completion certificate, the all issues pertaining to COS, COT, audit, and testing as per schedule, everything is to be accompanied and punch list clearly with quantity and cost involved. Maintenance manual and safety in O&M, that is generally without prior to recommendation of the PCC or COD, maintenance manual is to be reviewed by consultant.
सर रामकृष्णा ने कंप्लीट किया है, मैं इसमें कुछ पॉइंट ऐड कर देता हूँ, फिर पुरी साहब को आगे आने देंगे सर. अब am I allowed, sir?
Sir, please continue, sir.
So nowadays the interviews are being conducted by NHI expert committees for selection of key experts in the projects. We have been seeing that the expert in front of the expert committee, most of the experts are even do not able to tell the agreement EPC agreement provisions, even though they had worked in more than one or two projects in EPC or HAM projects, but they are unable to tell even the agreement provisions. It is very funny state of affairs, because NHI is now being very stringent and they have incorporated so many policies with regard to debarment and blacklisting of companies as well as key experts. The key experts are representing the company headed by the over at site by the team leader. So they have to take care of responsibilities of all the activities as per the task assigned to them. But as far as these NCRs and percentage checking is concerned, mostly there is quality deficiencies noticed at site. Means percentage checking, say 10%, earlier 20%, 50%, 60%. It should not be limited to one particular location or one particular thing. Mentioning 20%, 50% means, or 10% even, it should be reflective of 100%, पूरा 100% का रिफ्लेक्शन आना चाहिए उस 10% के अंदर. इट्स नॉट दैट वन आउट ऑफ 1 किलोमीटर यू हैव चेक 100 मीटर एंड यू कैन से दैट वी हैव चेक दिस 100 मीटर एंड रिमेनिंग इज नॉट बीइंग चेक्ड. Further, MPR, the reason for delay and is mentioned because we had a meeting with chairman. Chairman has conducted a meeting with 3 or 4 consultants and we were invited. In which chairman NHI itself said that we are losing the arbitration cases in the against the contractors because of MPRs, deficient MPRs. Because in MPR, whatsoever the contractor consultant write, the consultant simply endorses them, and they prove with the help of, and the concessionaires are able to prove with the help of MPR that the progress was adequate and there are so many obstructions in there. So these are some things which we have to deal with it. Design review also, nobody is, we have to be very much careful about the review of the design drawing, because we have noticed since more than 10 years, we have noticed that Schedule B, Schedule D and Schedule C, both the schedules have different kind of provisions conflicting, which are in conflict to each other. So we will have to examine what is applicable at what thing, and we will have to take clarity from the NHI, because instead of taking decisions at our own level in such conflicting provisions, we can include the NHI also in the decision making, so that it should not be the case that we will be later on penalized for those review of the design drawings, etc. So I think it's over because the time is 4:30. So I'm stopping here and over to Puri Sam now.
तो पूरी साहब नहीं है सर, आप थोड़ा सा क्लोज कर दो और शर्मा जी को बोल रहा हूँ मैं करने को.
हाँ.
वो बाई चांस कनेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, वो कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया उनका नेटवर्क का.
ठीक है, तो शर्मा जी नहीं है सर अभी.
है, मैं उनका देख रहा हूँ. आप ही क्लोज करना पड़ेगा लग रहा है. शर्मा
ठीक है,
जी
मेरे हिसाब
हैं
तो
सर, आप
So I think we had a very wonderful, wonderful event here today. And thanks to all the participants to listening us carefully. And we are sure that the people will be taking care of issues raised by us and guidance. And we will also circulate among them the copy of the presentation to the NHI also, to the client also, and to the every participant through CEI also. So that please go through these provisions. We should understand. In my opinion, there are three stakeholders. One is the client, means authority, means
शर्मा जी आ
PWD
गए
or
सर.
NHI. Means whatsoever the NHI, the client, one is the contractor and one is the consultant. The consultant task is the easiest, most what I feel, because we don't have to deal with the ministers and with the local public and local all these things. Local administration, we don't have to deal with it. As like of the NHI and client also, and client part. And the another thing, the contractor has to arrange so many things, so many query permissions, so many permissions he has to obtain. Whereas our job is to simple advising both the two agencies and do our work diligently. So our work is the lightest, most
मैंने कर दिया
Video
कर
will
दिया
start
least
आपने.
with
what I feel. But the light work brings complacency also. So what I feel that the people sitting at site becomes complacent with regard to our duties, and they just allow allow in sufficient work to carry out. So now hopefully you will all take care of all these issues and do cooperate in constructing good highways for the benefit of the country. Sharma sir, over to you now, sir. Our President CI
Yes, yes,
will close this.
I'm there. I'm trying to unmute, start my video. Rajiv, can you help?
अभी हो गया था.
नहीं हो
You
रहा
are
ना.
unmuted, sir, already.
अभी
You
अभी हुआ.
are.
अभी हुआ. Thank you, Rawat. We had very good presentations this afternoon. They both the speakers gave their practical experience on operating the contract. Do you have these questions? Any questions today? Those can be discussed. In my view, Mr. Rawat, and I think we should ask our consulting industry. See, as you are telling that most of the people, that is a real problem also. At the site, we have got highway engineers, but they don't know anything about the highway design. See, that is a real position. When I ask them, they don't know how to fix up a curve, how to design even a vertical curve. They are not even conversant with this one. So that is a very sorry state of affairs. We can we are thinking of providing some trainings for upgradation of skills, but people have to learn by themselves also. See, we cannot just say that some trainings will help. No, people have to do the self-study. The earlier we used to have all the IRC documents, codes. We used to have it compulsorily available at the project site. So those could be referred by the persons who are working there. Now that practice is, I think, not there because everybody is having the soft copies. And I don't know how far they are reading the soft copies. It's easier to read from the hard copies because you can scroll the pages easily. So that is one. People should have the hard copies. This it didn't cost much for the period cost is there. Then in-house training, the consultant should provide to their staff. See, when we take, that is a real problem because they don't know anything. I asked some payment specialist, he was not knowing what are the layers even. And he registered there, even the layers of PD, we had a very sorry figure. When the PD asked what are layers, even layers, I asked him to study, he did not study anything. He was just hopeless person. I'm telling like that. These people are, many people, mostly means at least 50% are like that. Some are good also. It's not that all are bad. But they need to have the study. They do the self-study. So that's there. We are recommending that they should have the membership of IRC compulsory, so that at least they are aware of what is happening, which codes are getting modified, what and but the consultants, no, they need to have the training part, in-house training, because even all the consultants is not just taking the jobs; it's their duty to provide the training also, because at least some people will be there who are knowledgeable. Then they should arrange some trainings. In what way, whether we can give a leave or on the parent or to the VC, that should be there. So that knowledge has to be improved, that's important. Third is, this see, just filling up for non-conforming reports, just for the sake of non-conforming reports has got no meaning. Sometimes you'll find that non-conforming reports are there, the layers have been laid over that also. Then these are closed. How these can be closed? See, I'm telling these are things, there's absurd things, those are being done at site. So just eyewash because nobody looks at it. That's not our function. We should do a job honestly and effectively. That is what is required. Then coming to the monthly reports, see, it's not the contractor will give his side only. Now it's the duty of the consultants to do the other side. See, what is deficient, what is not there, that has to be reported by the consultant, but it's not done. See, 90% at least is not done. Is all what is done by the contractor. He will project his what is the benefit to him. And same thing is reported in the monthly report. That's very wrong. So I don't know how this will we can improve upon it. So there, I think there's a need to be a workshop or something like brainstorming on these issues. See, it's a very unfortunate. We are not doing the proper supervision, which we are supposed to do. So much money we are getting, money government is spending, even government, of course, is not interested, but at least we should be interested. It's public money. It's public money. It's our duty to do a job. What for we are getting paid for it. I think with this I'll close. If there are any questions, we can give some time. Tarun,
One
we
more
can
thing,
give some time for
one more
questions.
thing, sir. One more thing I would like to address regarding the construction of bridges. In bridges, there are the steps which are really very important, because sometimes what happens, we have noticed not many failure in casting of girder, in launching of girders, and after girder there are certain cases where have slab failure or failure of structures have been done. In most of the cases, the prescribed steps have not been followed by the by the construction agency, as well as those have not been noticed by the firm, by the consultants also. So these are the most cases. So we should not take this lightly and things for granted. Whatever steps are there, the methodology, whether it is a launching methodology, construction methodology, everything should be well reviewed and it followed at site and strictly followed to overcome to minimize, or you can say to avoid all these kind of accidents while construction of bridges at site.
Uh, Tarun, unfortunately, from the side, the feedback is not there. See, I am 100% clear the number of tests required
Yes, sir.
for the progress which we are achieving. The staff allotted either with the contractor or with the consultant is not sufficient. Even time is also not there. So they cannot take the samples and test. You can test check any site. So that is actually the quality assurance part is there. Quality assurance part, I think we should emphasize on that. Just taking test has got no, because 100% quality should be there. As you told, we should not take the samples where we are sure the quality is good. See, it should be repetitive and we have to be sure the 100% the work is conforming to the standards. So
Yes,
for that, the process control is required. It's not the quality control test. The process control is required for every step. The process has to be controlled so that we are assured of the quality. That's required. So we have to do a lot of things on this. Even the concept, Change has to be there. It's not quality control. It has to be quality assurance. And now is the total quality management. It has gone to that side. So quality is very, very important. I tell you, I've been telling you take 10, 20% more, but do a good quality job. That will be cheaper to us. That will be economical to the country, to the government. See, doing a 10, 20% less and bad quality is very, very harmful.
Yes, sir.
Because we this huge investment is required and you cannot correct it. Whatever is wrong has gone in the earthwork or the subgrade, you cannot correct by the top layers. It cannot be corrected.
Yes,
So
sir.
durability has to be there, and every step is important. That's
Making
why I was proposing everybody at site should be responsible for the quality control. It's not only quality control engineer. All the steps require quality check, quality controls.
in
So
most of the cases,
that's
sir.
why I was
Yeah.
proposing. Let's look at it. All the persons should be responsible for quality for whatever work they are doing it. It's not only the quality control expert or the assistant quality control engineer. Everybody should be responsible for quality. So,
Yes. In
anyways, a
most of
very
the
good.
cases, yes. In most of the cases, the failure of payment resulted from the failure of the subgrade itself, sir. If you have noticed, in most of the cases, the least cost, the least affected, the least cost,
Actually, people
crust.
don't understand. That's the thing. Na?
Yes.
People don't understand the implication. Even the
Yes, sir.
contractor actually is worried about the 5 years maintenance period only.
Yes, sir.
So that is the situation. So
One
they
more
are
thing, sir, we have
the
raised, yes, in during chairman meeting, we have raised one more thing that in earlier FIDIC contracts, there was a provision of mobilizing of expert engineers on behalf of the contractor also, whereas the EPC and HAM contract doesn't specify any mobilization of qualified project manager or any staffing from the contractor side. So we have notified to the chairman well, and he has noted in his diary itself that the adequate staffing should be required from contractors part also, along with the consultant.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Yes, sir.
Because I am involved in the specification formulation.
Yes, sir.
We diluted the number of tests because
Hmm.
considering even those tests will not be able to do. So number of tests required in the earlier specification, third edition, were quite large. In the fourth, the fifth edition, we reduced the number of tests consciously because it is not possible to perform those tests. But even the reduced one, I'm doubtful anybody is doing or able to do it with the staff provided. So that is the situation. So once you check that, that will prove that quality is not being done.
Yes, sir. We are writing to the minister
Actually,
regarding
not
change in
you. Actually,
ROP.
you have to see
Yes,
the
sir.
system. You have to see the system. You have to see system means whether these people have got the quality persons, who they have got the experience. I'm talking the contractors. First of all, it is their responsibility to do 100% quality job because they are paid for 100% quality check. We are doing only test check. So, but the contractor is responsible for 100% quality job. So we have to check, okay, whether he's got a qualified persons, experienced persons for a particular job, whether educated persons are there for performing the test or the performing this, whether the person who is doing the laying the concrete, anything, any operation, he knows about the job. I've been telling it's not the engineers, it's only the persons who are working, the machine operators, they should know how to do it a proper job. Once they do it, it will be conforming to they will pass all tests. They'll pass all tests. So I think we can close it. It has been a very useful item or topic for which, and maybe more discussions like this could be there. And we will identify some topics where we can have a discussions, just like workshop maybe on the through BC only. So we identify the subjects so that we instead of all the topics we can identify few topics. Okay,
Yes.
तो शर्मा सर एक क्वेश्चन आया था।
out of this only.
Like graduation के बाद में पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन होता है ना, सर.
So,
नहीं,
Tarunji, there is one question has come from one of the participant. The question is,
please.
in case of delay in rectification for rejected works and closing of NCRs, then the timely basis appointment for other to be recommended by consultant to carry out rectification at contractor's cost. This is what is his question.
this is suggestion or question?
I don't know. It says looks like a suggestion. I thought it might be a question.
बोलिए रामकृष्ण, बोलिए क्या क्या पूछ रहे हैं तो क्या?
Sir, if it is a safety related item, no provision in the fact cannot
Huh.
cause safety.
He says it's a suggestion.
Line if the contractor or consult. Sir?
He says it is a suggestion. Please read the
Sir.
chat box. Yeah, please read the chat.
It is a suggestion, sir.
Next question has come.
One
We'll
more
go
thing,
on.
no, one more thing is there. I will address. There is a policy guideline issued by ministry regarding deterrent action for consultants 6/10/21 and contractors 7/10/21. In that particular, with regard to this question, I'm answering. In that particular policy circular, if a contractor or concessionaire is not rectifying within the timelines, denominated by the engineer in the NCR, then you can recommend then the engineer can recommend its name to be a non-performer contractor, means a sort of debarment. That is a provision in that policy circular 6/10/21 issued by Ministry of Road Transport and Highways.
Ramakrishnan, next question you can take up.
Yeah, can the COS work be executed once we get in principle? Yes, sir. Recently we given that too. The COS is so simplified. We have to propose for in principle approval with normative cost. Normative assessment of a COS work with normative cost is in few seconds or minutes. Whatsoever the work, whether it is a major bridge or any work. So once in principle approval received, they can commence the work. After then COS order and further for detailed design, everything can be carried out. Yes, once in principle approval received, they can commence the works.
I think there is no other question. So, sir, shall we close it, sir? There is no other question.
It is for Tarun.
Yes, sir. Thank you to all. Thank you, Sharma sir, for allowing us to convene this meeting. And this is really very important aspect. Because that's what is required from the contractors at site. So we will have to be diligent in our duties, and we should fulfill our duties so that we can be able to justify our presence there, for which we are being mobilized. We have to do two things: checking of quality and checking of quantity. These two aspects that's what we are there. So quantity and quality we will have to check. There are so many measures. So I think with this we are closing, and we hope that everybody should be benefited with this seminar and webinar, and
Thank you,
we
Tarun.
will be able
Thank
to.
you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I think
Sir.
we can close, and thanks all participants for their patience,
Thank you, sir.
hearing, and I think they will get educated and come forward with more suggestions. Anything is there. Okay.
Sir, this PPT we will share to the client also from CEI, so that
Okay, good.
whatever.
And
Yes.
to the participant also, I will share it.